Greetings, everyone. I had originally planned to kick things off with my top 10 films of 2015 to start this channel out, but plans changed when, for the past 2 weeks, I've heard nothing but, "Have you seen The Revenant? I've heard it's really good. I need to go see The Revenant. I've heard it's the only movie that came out in 2015. First of all, and second of all, yes, I have seen The Revenant, and I most certainly have thoughts on it, though they're probably not going to be what you've heard all about. So, The Revenant is the next film by director of Birdman and a bunch of movies that nobody liked or saw before Birdman. Revenant's the story of Hugh Glass, a trapper who is working out on the frontier in the 1800s, working as a scout for a group that's going around collecting furs. At some point he gets mauled by a bear, can't go on. 2 colleagues are supposed to stay with him. One of those is Tom Hardy, who in this movie is just a shit, and says, kills his son, puts a little dirt on him, runs away, calls it a day. Problem is, he wasn't dead. And for the rest of the movie, this guy is pursuing Tom Hardy to get revenge on him. Now, I'll say this for The Revenant. The first 45 minutes of the movie are awesome. And he already revisits that camera trick from Birdman, where it's all one continuous shot, and the trappers come under attack from the natives, and they have to get out of there. That had me in my seat going, "Oh my god, this is gonna be good to me!" And to the film's credit, it looks awesome. You've heard all these news stories about how the cinematographer shot everything in natural light, and it really shows in how this movie looks up on screen. Problem is, there's another 2 hours of the movie, and it's almost like the film lost something after the bear attack scene. What could it have been? Oh, story. Eventually it just becomes DiCaprio walking around in a bunch of cold and various sundry threats, while that kid from We're the Millers and Tom Hardy are back at the base going, "Don't you say nothing." And here's the thing. 2.5-hour movies can work. In fact, some of the best ones out there run for that long or more. But they have to have substance to do that. Everyone's going on about how The Revenant is some intrinsic reflection on how man destroys everything. But no, it's just a bunch of pretty images acting as a smokescreen for nothing all that interesting happening. There are a bunch of dream sequences in the film where DiCaprio hallucinates about his dead wife and his son and whatnot. And it's just another example that this director likes to do of being artsy, to distract from the fact that there's nothing worthwhile being said. Leo DiCaprio's getting a lot of buzz for this movie. Great, more power to him. Will he win the Oscar? Probably, in the sense that he's been campaigning for it for the last 10 years with each consecutive almost 3-hour movie, which will just have the Academy saying, well, he's been wanting this for a while, and he did grease up his hair and eat some raw bison liver, so But who's really actually quite good in this movie is Tom Hardy, who always makes his characters interesting and relatable, even if they're complete slime bags. Now here's the problem with this movie. Do we give credit to it because it was difficult to make and not many people can make a film like this? Or do we say it like it is because in reality it's a story that's incredibly lacking? I will give complete credit to the cinematographer for working in those kind of conditions. I'm sure the director and actors had a lot of challenges to go through in making this feel real, authentic. A woman at the screening I was in said this film made her feel cold. And while I agree, there are better movies that did that. So, by all means, I acknowledge the troubles that were went through to make this movie. But at the same time, it's a film that loses its interest well before the halfway mark. And really, it's because the story was so much more interesting when it was our main character in a group working out a strained group dynamic with a group that's trying to survive and has problems. Once it becomes a man against wild survival tale, it just gets downright boring. Nevertheless, I will give it a tentative recommendation, if not just for the opening scene. Plus, I will recognize that some people like the empty art house genre. Just look at the Oscar nominations this year. If you like what you see here, click subscribe and tune in for weekly reviews and the best of 2015 coming soon. Let me know what you thought of The Revenant in the comments, and while you're at it, check out the podcast I'm part of, Super Movie Studies, where some colleagues and myself will delve deep into superhero film and media. Till next time.